Yep, special delivery from China, 16 broken supercars. Now, Greg Murphy's Commodore was among them after his dance through the Shanghai sand, but the most bizarre story of the weekend was a great one. Mark Winterbottom's Falcon, gutted by a metal grate, dislodged from a drainage hole during race one. He hit it at close to 160 kilometres an hour.
It's taken out everything. It's gone straight down, a little kink around the gearbox, and carried on straight, and it's just lost it in half.
It even chopped into the roll cage, which makes you wonder if it had made contact with Mark's carbon fibre seat a bit earlier than it did, it may have sliced him in half.
When you're strapped into the car, you're held in quite tight, so if the grate could break a roll bar, it would have just sliced you in half. So it was quite scary to think of what could have been.
The repair bill? About $100,000, and the team now has only a couple of days left to fix it before heading to Darwin. At least he gets a souvenir from his first international expedition. Made in China. Just great.
You're watching RPM. That was a frightening accident in the very early days of his V8 career, really. Currently 5th in the points from Ford Performance Racing. We welcome back to RPM Mark Winterbottom. G'day, mate.
Thank you. That's some good footage.
That's incredible. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm grateful that I've got a little boy, and that grate did miss my feet because they all still work, so it was very close.
Young blokes tend to brush off incidents like that in the early days of your racing career, maybe not as early as the kart shot that we have behind us here. But was that a bit of a wake-up call for you to the dangers of motor racing?
Well, it doesn't look a lot. Even on the footage, it doesn't look like much at all. But you know, I hopped out the car and had the guy in the little Pee-wee 50 that picks you up, and I didn't think much of it. I just hopped on the bike, went back to the pits, and then thought, you know, the boys would fix it for the next day. I just thought it broke the steering and a few things. But when I looked through and saw the gouge that it went through, and when it put a gouge in my seat as well, and how close it would have come to going through you, then that was a bit of a reality check. But then I think we went shopping the next day and bought a heap of stuff. So it was, you know, it was one day it was bad, the next day you get over it. But you know, now you're 30, it probably would change your opinion a little bit. But I was 22 and, you know, not that bright back then.
One of the funny things you just said, that it didn't seem that big. I was the car not straight behind you, but I was the next car, and I thought your car had just blown a gearbox or something. You just blew to bits, and I've never seen that footage where the car's cut in half almost, you know. So
yeah, it didn't look much at all.
Yeah, massively lucky.
Yeah.
Season so far, 4 podiums, pole positions. What's the key thing that's missing?
The car's very quick, but it's good over 1 lap. So when I put new tyres on it, I feel like I've got a lot of confidence and I can push on the tyre and lean on it. But over a stint, I'm just struggling with rear tyre life. So Townsville, for example, put it on pole and put that soft tyre on, and I was confident that I'd finish somewhere around the front. But the 2 888 cars, the way they passed me and continued to pull away, that blew me away a little bit. So we need to work on rear tyre life, and we've got the right people to do it. We've got Campbell Little, Matt Nilsson, a great bunch of guys there. It just takes a little bit of time. So control tyre, I think we're good. On the soft tyre, I think we need to do some work.
What do you think the biggest difference is between your car and 888? Have they got more consistency from track to track?
When I watch in-car footage, which is what most drivers sort of do when we get home, we look at the footage, I tend to be correcting. As soon as I crack throttle, I correct the steering wheel because I've got oversteer. It looks like the 888 cars wind the steering off while they've actually got traction. So they're squatting better, and diagonal grip is a lot better on their cars. So we know what it needs. It's just trial and error really on how we can get it.
A couple of weeks out from the Queensland round of the championship, and really the Enduros, Phillip Island and Bathurst are just around the corner. Can you shed some light for us on the combo? Is it Stephen Richards that you'll share the car with? Yeah,
I've got Richo, and he's been in good form this year. He's been racing Uberto, and he's you know, he was one of the picks that I really wanted to get. He's easy to work with, and I've got a bit of unfinished business from 07 with Richo too, so it's a nice feeling to go up there. And I think the Enduros were going to be strong. We're good on the control tyre. Our engine boys have given us about 10 horsepower for those 2 races. They've come up with a lot of work in the engine shops, so I'm confident, but you know, you're never confident. Yeah. You go up to that place and it can catch you out 20 laps to go, which I still relive 07 every day. So I'd love to win it with him for that reason, and I think we can get a good result.
When you look at that combination, you'd have to say that that's probably one of the strongest combinations in the field, because obviously Richo, he's only been out of full-time drive for 6 months, where, you know, guys like me, we've been out for a long time, so very, very strong pairing.
He's been good on test days. He's been very strong, and I think, you know, he's only been out of it a little while, so he's kept his eye on with the Porsche, and he's hungry as well. He's been training, he's been at boot camp, and he's pushing hard, so I'm looking forward to driving with him.
We all had a bit of a chat around the office earlier, and kind of didn't feel like we'd ever answered or heard an answer, but when we were doing V8 Supercars, you were with, well, you never finished up with SBR, and we all wondered why you were kind of loaned to Larkham for a year and never really finished up there, and we're there now. Why didn't you ever go back?
I guess in 03 I had a great year, and Ambrose and Ingle didn't want to go anywhere, so my job was either do another year in development series or go to Larkham Motorsport, and part of me going to Larkham Motorsport got them the Stone Brothers engine deal, so Larkham got a pretty good deal out of it, but had 2 average years. I spoke to Ross when they were looking for drivers, and my results hadn't been that strong, so they had pressure from sponsors, and Courtney was the young bloke who was seen as the potential, and he got the drive, and I went to FPR, and it's probably been the best thing that could have happened to me. So things happen for a reason. I tried to get the drive, but it wasn't a position for me, so I took the FPR drive, and 6 years later we sit here and sort of you know, I'm happy with the decision I made, or what was made.
Now, we're all big kids here on the show, and I think most of us have been more than once to see Cars 2, which you have a small part in. And before we go too far and talk about this, let's actually hear a little bit of it.
Guido, look! Ferraris and the tires. Let's go!
Oh, look at this!
Okay, now, Mater, remember, best behavior.
You got it, buddy. Hey, what's that?
Look, Mater!
Hey, McQueen! Over here!
Lewis!
Hey, man.
Frosty!
Hey, Lightning, can you believe this party?
Hey! You done good. You got all the leaves.
Check out that tow truck.
Man, I wonder who that guy's with. Will you guys excuse me just for one little second?
Frosty there with Lewis Hamilton. That's pretty cool to be asked to play a part in something like that. What was it like?
It was great. I've got a head for animation, so they roll very well. But the guys at Disney and Pixar were amazing. They the way they constructed it, it's practically drawn from a sketch. A guy gets a notepad, a pencil, and scribbles away. And you know, the movie's made from 4 years of pen and paper to animation to the voice, and mine was done in a Melbourne studio with the director on the phone in America. So it starts off hands-on, and then it turns into this animation thing that's mind-blowing. It did 4.9 million, I think, on the first day, so it's just a massive movie.
Now, we are about to have a little RPM karting feature in the next couple of weeks. That's where you started your motorsport career on 4 wheels. What was that whole part of your race career like?
It's, I guess, the apprenticeship for any race car driver. So I started at the age of 10 and raced till I was 20 years old, so 10 years of karting, and they were probably the best days of your life. There was no pressure. Your mum and your dad took you down the local track, and if you were good enough, you won on the day. If you weren't, you went home and worked on the go-kart in the garage and went racing again. It's a lot different to what we do now, but some of the best days of your life.
Would you have done that if you hadn't won that Pee Wee 50?
Probably not. I would have played soccer. So, but you know, once you get your hands on something with a motor, soccer just didn't seem the same after that.
See, Daz just wanted to prove the fact that you started on 2 wheels, not 4. You see.
No, but I seriously, I won a motorcycle on a TV show.
That's actually
It's the
something you
only
shared.
reason I went and did motorsport. Otherwise, I was the same. I played soccer.
I learnt my abilities on a bike. They were good out of it. It hurt too much.
Speaking of little fellas, you've got a new addition. A new addition to the family?
Yeah.
Getting some sleep in?
I am when I'm away, so thanks for that. But my poor wife's probably up now trying to burp him and put him to sleep. So, no, he's great. He's the best thing, and you can't imagine your life without it. But he's a lot of work. He's making Renee earn a way there. But, yeah, he's great.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming on, and all the best at Queensland in a fortnight's time.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you.